Okay, so this is Philosophy 4. Um, I'm going to go over some of the homework because I assigned homework for, I want you to read chapter 1 this week and do homework. And so let me go over some of the homework stuff just to make sure you you understood what you're supposed to understand. Let me say something. At the end of each of the chapters in the book we're using, Critical Thinking by Moore and Parker, at the end of the chapter of each of the chapters is a section called recap. That's like, for example, in the 10th edition on page 25, there's a section called recap. It's one page, a little more than one page, and it gives you everything. It goes over everything that you need to know in that chapter. So what I would suggest is when you read the book, before you start the chapter, go to the kind of the end of the chapter. It's not going to be exactly at the end, but towards the end. It'll say recap. And read the recap first so you'll know, okay, so this is what you're going to be reading about in the chapter. So in chapter 1, what you need to know is all the stuff in the recap. So I'll say it verbally so it'll stick in your mind. You need to know what a claim is. And the best way to study this is to review, test yourself. What I would suggest is that you read the recap a couple times, and then you put your hand over what it says claim, and it gives the answer. Put your hand over the answer and see if you can answer it without looking. Okay, so a claim says in this book, when a belief, judgment, opinion, they're all the same thing, is asserted in a declarative sentence, the result is a claim or statement. Okay, now you go through the rest of it, and it will define the terms. Then you go back, look at claim, see if you can say that answer without looking. Once you can do that, okay, then it's in your mind and you won't forget it. And review, every so often review. A claim, objective claim, subjective claim. This is a very important distinction. So let me read this. An objective claim is true or false regardless of whether people think it is true or false. Okay, that's what an objective claim is. This is a pencil. That's an objective claim. You know why? Because it's true. This is a pencil. Whether I believe it's a pencil or you believe it's a pencil, it is a pencil. That's true or false, independently of what anyone believes. That's what an objective claim is. An objective claim is true or false, regardless of whether people think it is true or false. Claims that lack this property are said to be subjective. So let me give you an example. What if I said to you, this is the best pencil in the world. There's no pencil better than this pencil. All right, that's subjective, right? I mean, that's not a fact. I might believe it. Okay, that's a subjective claim because it's not true independently of what I believe. Another very important concept here is factual claim. This is very important to think about because it's very easy to misinterpret. A factual claim is the same thing as an objective claim. They mean exactly the same thing as in this book and in most other books too. Factual claim, objective claim. Now, that can actually look misleading because normally a lot of people, when you see the word factual claim, you think, oh, it's a factual claim, right? Therefore, it must be stating a fact. But that's not what that factual claim means. A factual claim simply means it's an objective claim. It doesn't mean it's stating a fact. I could say right now that it's snowing outside, and it is not snowing outside. It is snowing outside. It's snowing. It is snowing outside. Now, that is a factual claim. It's an objective claim. They mean exactly the same. Either it is snowing outside or it is not snowing outside. That is not dependent upon what I believe or what anybody else believes. The fact is, it is not snowing outside right now. It's still a factual claim. it's false. So when the book talks about a factual claim, do not, think, well, it must be true. No, that's not what a factual claim is. A factual claim simply means it states a fact, and that fact may be true or false. Another term that's introduced in the recap of chapter 1 is moral subjectivism. And this is the view. Moral subjectivism is the idea that all judgments and claims that ascribe a property to something are subjective, meaning they're not true or false. So if I say to you, if you're a moral subjectivist, if I say it's wrong to torture someone, it's wrong to torture a child, a moral subjectivist would say it's not really. That's just your opinion. It's not a fact. Moral subjectivists do not believe there are any moral facts. Everything is a matter of your personal taste. There are very few moral subjectivists. A lot of people, they say they're moral subjectivists, but when a push comes to shove, they're not moral subjectivists. Because everyone knows that there are certain things which are right and wrong. I don't know anyone who would say that, if somebody's torturing a child, they would say, I think it's wrong, but, maybe that person doesn't think it's wrong. It's like, I like chocolate, that person likes vanilla. I don't think torturing animals or children is good, but that person does. It's just a matter of taste. I've never met a person like that in my life. So moral subjectivism, but if you are a moral subjectivist, that's what your view would be. So anyway, my point is this: when you read the chapters, go to the recap, memorize the recap, put your hand over the page, go down the list, and see if you can answer the question, and then see what the answer is. If you got it wrong, then keep doing it until you get it right. Okay, that's how you do it. Don't wait till an exam or something and say, I don't know what these do. Just do it as you go, day by day. Okay, so let me go over. I'm trying to look at how much time I have. Do you remember how much time I have? I'm trying to think of my time. Okay, so let me see. I've got 8 minutes. Sorry, I'm looking at the clock. Okay, so I want to go over. If you have the book, page 3 is very important. So let me make this point. Page 3 has a section in a box, green box, critical thinking, the long version. Go through that, read that, and give you all the things things that you should look for to make sure you have a good argument. Okay, now I want to look at chapter 1, exercise 1.1. Okay, on page 10. I'm going to go over these just to make sure we're all on the same page. What is an argument? That's number 1. What is an argument? An argument has 2 parts, premises and a conclusion. Okay? It gives reasons to believe that something is true. Number 2, true or false? A claim is what you use to state an opinion or belief. True. 3, true or false? Critical thinking consists in attacking other people's ideas. False. Critical thinking consists in thinking about your thinking, in looking at your arguments and seeing if they conform, if they make mistakes or if they obey the rules of thinking. So critical thinking has nothing to do with attacking other people. 4, whether true or false, whether a passage contains an argument depends on how long it is. False. An argument can be very short. It can be very long. It has nothing to do with how long it is. It has something to do with, does it have a premise and a conclusion, or more than one premise and a conclusion. Arguments can only have one conclusion, but they got many, many premises. 5, true or false? When a question has been asked, an issue has been raised. True. That's what issues are. They're questions. 6, true or false? All arguments have a premise. Yes. They have at least one premise. They can have many premises. 7, true or false? All arguments have a conclusion. Yes, that's true. 8, true or false? You can What am I, 8. You can reach a conclusion without believing it is true. And the book says false. That's it. To me, that's an ambiguous question. But, basically, if you reach a conclusion, you believe it's true. So the answer would be true. Number 9, true or false, beliefs, judgments, and opinions are all the same thing. True. A belief is a judgment is opinion. They're synonyms. They mean the same thing. 10, true or false, all opinions are subjective. False. If it's raining outside and I say it's raining outside, that's my opinion. That's not subjective. So opinions can be they can be objective or subjective. If I say it's raining outside, that's an objective opinion. If I say chocolate tastes better than vanilla, that's subjective. So opinions, number 10, true or false, opinions are subjective. False. 11, true or false, all factual claims are true. False. Factual claims is simply a synonym for objective claim. And objective claims can be true or false. Factual claims can be true or false. 12. There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Expresses a doctrine known as, and fill the blank in. The answer is moral subjectivism. Okay, moral subjectivism. There is nothing either good or bad. When you're talking about good or bad, in a moral sense, that's moral subjectivism. 13. The first order of business when it comes to thinking critically about an issue is A, to determine whether the issue is subjective or objective. B, to determine whether the issue can be resolved. 3, neither of these. And the answer is C, neither of these. The first thing is to determine what the issue is. If you don't know what the issue is, you can't determine anything else about it. 14, true or false. The conclusion of an argument states a position on an issue. True. 15, true or false. Issues can be resolved only through scientific testing. False. 16, critical thinking is a foolproof way of avoiding errors in thinking. False. Critical thinking doesn't mean that you're never going to make mistakes. It's a way of evaluating your thinking. Hopefully you won't overlook things, but it doesn't guarantee you're not going to be wrong. 17, true or false. The claim Death Valley is an eyesore is subjective. That's true. Some people might think it's an eyesore. Some people might think it's beautiful. 18, true or false. Every issue requires an argument for a resolution. False. You don't need an argument for everything. If you're in pain, you don't need an argument to know that you're in pain. You don't need arguments for everything. Some things you see it. It's right before you. If I see a tree, I say there's a tree there. I don't need an argument for it. So that's false. 19, which one of these doesn't belong? They give 5 words. Which one doesn't belong? There's a group. Therefore, consequently, thus, since, and so. The answer is D, since. All the other words, therefore, consequently, thus, and so, why do they belong together? Well, because what comes after those words is going to be a conclusion. In the next chapter, you're going to learn that they're called conclusion indicators. The word since is a premise indicator. It indicates that what's going to come next is a premise. So the answer for that one is the one that doesn't belong is D, since. And this is the last one, then I'll stop. 20, true or false. It is not possible to reason correctly if you do not think critically, and that's false. Critical thinking is thinking about thinking. You may be thinking clearly, but not thinking about why it's clear. So 20 is false. It is not possible to think correctly if you do not think critically. That's false. So that's all I'll say for now, and I'll come back with another video and do some more of the exercises in the book. Okay, thank you.